we gonna have some fun tonight. Yeah. I don't dance them on it, so we can do whatever we like. We go to US, Nigeria, Korea, Ghana, Peru. We just turn it up wherever you are. We go bazooka, we super, we know they tire. Hey, DJ turn it up, I like it. Yeah, we take it all around the world. We take it all around the world. You know we take it all around the world. We take it all around the world. I got the magic, and I do. Oh, you got the magic, and I do. I got the magic, and I do. I know you got the magic, and I do. Hey fellas, yeah, you wanna get down? Let me see you go. Hey ladies, you wanna get down? Now shawty goes, hey, hey, your name and tell me what you're looking for tonight. Oh tonight, cause when it all goes down, we're gonna have a party of life tonight. We go to US, Nigeria, Korea, Ghana, Peru. We just turn it up wherever you are. We go bazooka, we super, we know they tire. Hey, DJ turn it up, I like it. Yeah, we take it all around the world. We take it all around the world. You know we take it all around the world. We take it all around the world. I got the magic, and I do. Oh, you got the magic, magic, and I do. Oh, you got the magic, and I do. I got the magic, and I do. I know you got the magic, and I do. Hey fellas, yeah, you wanna get down? Let me see you go. Hey ladies, you wanna get down? Now shawty goes, hey, 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 okay. Hold up, you know, I say you shouldn't get another guy time of day. And you got to kind of fade more time away. And they coming from a guy to throw dimes away. What you do? This ain't different, man. We started playing games on the extra, man. We be hopping up the plane where it be a tan. When I just getting it popping in the business sedan. Picking up 100 grand while I'm on Sedan. Like us an Ivory Coast on the way to Japan. We cool back to back on new shoes. And we rhyme with a guy with some loose screws. That's the one your girl should be introduced to. Yeah, why you don't know about me, do you? Tell her, hey, I'm the type of guy to get a number one. She don't put me under number God. I got the magic, and I do. Oh, you got the magic, and I do. I got the magic, and I do. Oh, you got the magic, and I do. Hey fellas, yeah, you wanna get down? Let me see you go. Hey ladies, you wanna get down? Now shawty goes, hey, hey, turn all the way, turn all the way, yeah, come on, hey, you know, all the way, hey, we turn all the way, okay, hey man, I'ma book my flight, mama, hey people, we going in, Paul, I'm on the way,
Okay, before now we had members of PAN, that is Poultry Association of Nigeria, on the show, and they were talking to us about the World Egg Day, which is coming up tomorrow, health benefits of egg, and virtually all we need to know about eggs. I have another young man in the studio who has just joined me, and he's going to be talking about alcohol. It's good to have you on the program, Mr. Clement Sunday.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So what do we need to know about alcohol?
Okay, alcohol by simple definition, it's a volatile, colorless liquid, which a chemist will refer to as ethyl alcohol or ethanol. And there are mainly two classifications based on the way they are produced, either by fermentation or by distillation. And we have different types of alcohol drinks. We have the beer, which most people are familiar with. Most alcohol are derived from plants.
Okay, wait, you said volatile, colorless liquid.
Yes.
And of course, you and I know that it's not colorless when it comes out in the bottle we see.
Well,
okay.
it depends on other additives, but
Okay.
you know, when you want to have it commercialized, then you can of course make it a little bit more attractive to people,
Okay.
add some coloring to it so that it's going to look more attractive to people who consume it. So the beer is usually a fermented starch and contains about 3 to 10% of alcohol. We also have the wine, which are usually derived from grapes, and they contain higher content of alcohol.
Higher content of alcohol?
Yes, the wine, so which are fermented from grapes. Then we have the brandy, we have the whiskey, we have the rum, which are kind of distilled from sugarcane. Then we have gin, which are fermented from wheat, so from barley. So these are various types of alcohol.
Okay, so we're seeing now that grapes, what was the other one? Wheat,
The wine,
they all have a level of alcohol
yes,
in them.
in them, yes,
Okay.
yes. So it depends on the processes, either they're fermented, the sugar they contain are now fermented, or either they are fermented or they are distilled. So that way you can have alcohol produced.
Okay, so what about starchy food and all of that?
Yes, they contain, if they are not fermented, when they get there, when they are fermented, then the alcohol content become more intoxicating.
Okay, but you know stuff like fufu or gari, you know the
Yeah.
process of the making has some kind of fermentation and so
Yes,
that. So is that to say that when it comes out finally there's some content of alcohol in it?
Of course, they contain certain level of ethanol. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
But when you now subject them to further level, there are different levels of fermentation. When you subject them to various higher level of fermentation, then you expect to have it more intoxicating. At that level, they are not intoxicating. So, but when you subject them to further or more higher level of fermentation, then well, the chemist would go into details of how they are subjected to different degrees of fermentation. Sometimes it takes days, because in the villages, sometimes they do it locally, whereby they get barleys and they keep them for several days, several weeks, until they get all the fermentation, and it gets so sour and toxic.
Okay.
You know, so when you take it, you have this feeling. The alcohol content becomes more prominent.
Okay, start getting drowsy,
Yes.
start getting dizzy,
Yes.
and all of that. Before I get to the effects proper now of alcohol, because I know that most people would get to tell you more of the negative effects of alcohol. I want to know, are there any positive effects of alcohol?
Positive effect of alcohol. Some studies have shown that when you consume alcohol in moderate quantity, you have a tendency to reduce to increase. You have a chance of increasing your cholesterol, the good cholesterol in the body. But the risk attached to it is that once you start taking moderate alcohol, you have a tendency to
get
addicted.
Okay.
So now, on the long run, the benefits, the problem outweighs the benefits. So it is advisable not to even take it at all.
Okay, before we get to the alcoholic contents, mostly in drinks, beers, and all of that, I guess we can say that the ones in food, starchy food, is very healthy for
It's
the body.
healthy, it's
good for the
okay.
body. Okay, what about that in red wine? Because I know it's been argued that certain amount of alcohol in red wine is very good for the heart and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. The content, what it contains is the alcohol, and it is believed, that's what I'm saying, but you stand a chance of becoming addicted
Okay.
to it because of what it contains. So that way, the benefit is not, when you weigh the benefit to the problem is going to outweigh the benefits. So fine, on a good day, you say, okay, you take it once a while, then you could probably say, okay, yeah, you could have some benefit, but there is a tendency where you can get addicted to it, so eventually you would not get anything at the end of the day.
Okay. So let's get to the excess negative effects now.
Okay, there are temporal effects, so
and there are short-term and long-term effects.
Yeah, short-term and long-term effect when you consume alcohol. Some of the examples of the short-term effect is the fact that people need to know that when they take alcohol, the primary organ which is affected is the brain. That's where it has a direct impact on, and the various parts of the brain are affected depending on the concentration of the alcohol that is being taken. There's this part of the brain which controls thinking and learning. So when you take, no matter how small the quantity of alcohol you might have taken, that part of the brain is usually acted upon. The brain is usually acted upon, and this is where the lifestyle comes in. Most people.
Sorry, before you get there, I mean by this alcohol now, you mean the distilled alcohol, I suppose.
Distilled or fermented.
Okay.
Distilled or fermented. So that's the part. It's called the RAS. That's the Reticular Activating System of the brain. So that's the part of the brain which coordinates thinking and learning. So reason why most people indulge in taking alcohol is when they feel they are thinking too much. So they feel
that's just
the problem
a short
of
way
life.
of getting out.
Yes, it's a short way. So because no matter how little the content it has, the alcohol has, that part of the brain is going to be acted upon, and the person cannot really think for a period of time. So it's kind of temporal feel you have, and that's why most people even want to take alcohol in the first place. So the other part is the fact that it has a way of dilating the blood vessels under the skin, whereby allowing heat to escape from the body. That's short-term effect. And the other part is the part of the brain.
Allowing heat to escape from the body.
The body, yes. When the vessels, the skin is supplied by blood vessels, bringing blood to the skin. So, and when you take alcohol, the vessels are dilated, so thereby more blood come around the skin, and because more blood come around the skin, you have heat which is supposed to be conserved in the body escape. Because they easily come around there and they escape. So, and that body heat is important. So that's why when people take alcohol, they are subjected to feel chill. So that explains that. It's a temporal feel they have when they take it. So another part of the brain which is affected is the part that coordinates the part of the brain that coordinates the functions of the kidney. The brain, as much as possible, wants to try and reserve enough water in the body, but when you take alcohol, you tend to urinate more often. So that's the temporal feel you have when you take alcohol. The another part is the part which coordinates the muscular coordination, which is the cerebellum, which coordinates the muscular coordination. And that way, the person probably will not be able to move the muscle at some point when the person has taken excess. Depends on the dosage taken. So, and of course, the last temporal thing is the person could just pass out.
Just like that.
Just like that. So those are some of the short-term effects you have when you take alcohol. But when you look at the long-term effect.
So before you get to the long-term effects, you're saying now that alcohol could just make you pass out.
It can make someone pass out depending on
without
the dosage.
any notice or something.
Yeah, a person can just pass out. Okay. Especially people who have suicidal tendencies. They can take and smudge and take and they can eventually just pass out. Lose consciousness.
Okay. Probably sleep off and there it goes.
Yes, so that can happen.
So getting to the long-term effects.
Okay, the long-term effect, you could have swelling of the the brain tissues. So the person feels so dizzy, or the person start having memory problems, can't remember things, or sometimes people have this gastritis problem, stomach issues and all that. Those are long-term effects. Then sometimes people come up with problems which affect their kidney, because at that point the kidney is going to be overworking. So long-term effect is that people could come up with kidney problems. And eventually when you indulge in taking excessive alcohol, there's what we call liver cirrhosis, which could also be as a result of taking excess alcohol. So these are some of the long-term effects when it comes to taking alcohol.
Wow, that's a bit scary now. Okay, is it possible now to actually, because people would argue with you that it's not possible to stop taking alcohol if you've started and if you're really addicted to it. And there's some other people who say that it's okay to take alcohol as long as you eat. You know, most people will tell you that it's if you don't eat that it gets to knock you off and make you act funny and dizzy and all of that. But if you eat properly, you can just go on and drink as much as you want. How is that?
If on a good day, food is needed to support the body. Food is needed to support the brain. Like I said before, the main organ, the direct organ that alcohol had to pump more is the brain. So and the brain actually needs glucose, you know, to keep you alert and to keep you active. So when you eat, fine, you're supplying the brain with fuel to work with. And when you take alcohol as well, you exert an opposite effect on the brain. So it is not advisable because it doesn't have any benefit. Let me put it that way. It doesn't have much benefit or any benefit, to be sincere, to the body. It doesn't have any value to the body. You know, it just makes you feel high, and
it just makes you forget your immediate problems, and then you go to bed and wake up and the problems are still there looking at you.
And the after effect of taking alcohol too is not funny, because sometimes people come up with this serious taste. You just feel so thirsty, and they can have fatigue, they can have this headache, persistent headaches. And you know, and when they combine it, they have a tendency to combine alcohol with smoking. And when you combine alcohol with smoking, you stand a high risk of high blood pressure.
Wow.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things attributed
surrounding the whole alcoholic stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we're talking about people who have actually gotten addicted
yes,
to this habit. Is it possible? How do they actually break out of it? What recommendations can be given for them?
Okay, sincerely, you can stop. If people take alcohol, it can be stopped, and it's a gradual process. Number one, what I can recommend is that you can withdraw at once. You have to understand that it took a while before you got addicted, and you must come to terms the reality that it will take a while as well for you to withdraw. Most people have attempted to withdraw, but because after a while then the whole condition gets worse, because they withdraw all at once. So if you take like 3 bottles or 4 bottles, you probably drop it to 1 at a sitting. You will probably drop it to 2 or drop it to 1. So gradually, like that, with a well-determined mind, then after a while you can stop. The second thing is that
then save yourself the money.
And save yourself the money, because it's quite expensive too. So the economic part too is there. Then number 2, you probably stay away from pepper soup or anything spicy, chili, pepper, anything spicy, because studies have shown that when you take spicy things, you have this craving. It has this way it craves for alcohol. That's number 2. So you probably stay away. Some people say, oh, I don't take beer, but I only take pepper soup. But when you take pepper soup, after a while, you will start having this crave for alcohol.
No, hold on. Are you saying for those who drink beer or who take alcohol regularly, if they take pepper soup, or rather they're trying to stop and now they start taking pepper soup, it might make them go back? But we're talking about those who are not into alcohol drinking. Pepper soup can still...
People who don't take alcohol can enjoy their pepper soup. It's okay.
Okay.
But if you're trying to stop
and then you take pepper soup,
you're trying to withdraw from taking, or you're trying to withdraw from being an addict of alcohol, you have to deliberately stop pepper soup or anything spicy for a while.
Wow.
So that you can withdraw. Then the third thing is to stay away from smoking. Smoking also has a way of craving for alcohol. So you stay away from smoking as well. Then the last thing is to take a lot of fruit. Take a lot of fruits, take a lot of fruit juice, fresh fruit and all that. That's a way to come out of it gradually.
That's a really serious one here. Okay, just before I let you go, your final words to, every one person who would just sit down and gather like 7, 8, 9 bottles in front. Just something, a final word to the general public.
It's important that people need to know that at this point in time that we find ourselves with different kinds of ailments and diseases all around. Before we put anything in our mouth, we should first think about the benefit it has before we chew them, before we drink them. If it doesn't have any benefit or any immediate value, there's no point in taking it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Clement Sunday,
My pleasure.
for coming on the show. That was Mr. Clement Sunday, a lifestyle